15 minutes south of downtown Houston, there's a great community that came and took the Houston market by storm, offering a great little modern sort of flair to the greater Houston metro, and that community was known as Citygate. We are now in the northern extension of Citygate, which offers a more townhome style living that would be more consistent with what you would see in the inner loop of Houston. And it's a happy blend between being kind of suburban, but also getting the glam of city living and those type of builders that build homes inside of the loop, but you're tucked away just south of downtown. And I think that this is a great alternative for those first-time home buyers that are looking for a little bit of luxury without being forced to go all the way out to the country. And if that sounds like something that you are interested in, all for the price of under $350 right now. Get in while you can, under $350. That sounds good. Stay tuned. So before we get going and looking at the offerings that we have here in Citygate North, I want to talk a little bit about where we're coming from, as well as what has been happening over in this area over the last 10 years or so. So right now we stand in between Citygate North and the original Citygate. Behind me, the original Citygate is back there, and it was a more traditional style home where you had first one-story homes and two-story homes from entry level about 1,300 square feet all the way up to about 2,500 square feet. So you had a wide variety of different offerings on the traditional original Citygate side. Before that, the original OG community was City Park, which was on the opposite side of 288, that still followed that same sort of style. On the opposite side, there's also some more commercial that has come on this side. We have some, your Starbucks is coming, and it looks like they have a little bit more space up towards the front near 288 for some more commercial stuff on this side. But that is kind of what you have from a support and infrastructure on this portion of Houston. Also, we're just north of Pearland, and so most people are actually going to probably use the Pearland Center to get all their grocery shopping and restaurants and things that you would actually need outside of what you have on this little strip off of West Orem and 288. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Citygate, you have a pocket park as well as a walking trail around a nice little lake that they have built. One of the things that I think is super nice, that at this price point you get gated communities on both sides, and that is the same for Citygate North. So one of the things that I really think is a great benefit to being over here is your proximity to downtown and the medical center, and the style of home that you can get and the luxury for the price point that you can get. You aren't going to get these big master plan communities in this area for this price, so you're not going to have the big swimming pools and all the things that you normally would see on this channel. But I think it hits a niche for a lot of people that hit me up that are first-time buyers that want a little bit of glam but don't want to move all the way to the suburbs and don't want to be just way in the sticks. They're not just quite ready to be paying those high taxes for all of those schools and things, and they want to be kind of close to the city, not giving up and being in that suburban life, and this hits it right on the head. So definitely one of these ones that I think if you are looking and you don't want to be in a transitional neighborhood like me and my family, we ended up buying in the Independence Heights area, and that has its own dodginess with it. Those kind of areas happen throughout Houston, being one of the largest gentrifying places in the US. Sunnyside, your Acres Homes, Independence Heights, some parts of Third Ward. There's so many places where you can get a really nice home, but you look around the surroundings of you and it's kind of dodgy. And just out here, you just don't get that. So that's another beautiful trade for being out here. But enough of that, let's go and talk about some of the houses that D.R. Horton is offering right now in Citygate North. So heading back within the gates, there are 3 different offerings here, and they're all going to be inventory, so you're not coming in and picking all the things and having a true design experience like you would have for any other builder if you were to go and build ground up anywhere else. Basically, if you don't know what the inventory means, is that they pick everything, they do all the colors, all the designs, they build it, and then they will list it on the MLS for sale to you as the end buyer. And so because of that, things are going to move fairly quickly. There's not any guesswork when it comes to design. Over here they have 3 different products. They have the ash, the birch, and the cypress. The ash being somewhere around 1,800 square feet and is their smallest offering, all the way up to the cypress being a little bit over 2,000 square feet, being 4 bedrooms as well. So that's another change up from some of the stuff that you see in the city. Many times those are capped at a 3-bed, 3.5 bath sort of situation, or a 3-bed, 2.5 bath, even in our case in the Independence Heights area. And so you get a little bit more square footage out here with the sacrifice of being a little bit out of the city, and you still get some of the glam. So right now, let's go and check out the Cypress plan and see what they are having to offer. And at the end of all of this, we'll talk about some of the incentives and some of the great deals that they have right now on all these plans over here. What did you think about the Cypress plan out the gate? I thought it was nice, super functional, 4 bedrooms up. And so to revise who I think this would be perfect for, this would be perfect for someone like myself, where we have a young kid, doesn't necessarily need schools right now at this point in time, that we would want kind of close to us and being on the same level. Oftentimes in the city, you'll have this weird kind of layout where you have one room on the bottom floor and then 2 rooms kind of up and separated. And so that's not the most conducive for someone with a young family. And so as we go into the Birch, I just wanted to touch on why I just said that this is kind of perfect for someone that doesn't need the schools. And that's mainly because in the area that we are in that kind of pseudo medical center, pseudo Sunnyside sort of area that we are in, just before you kind of start getting to the Pearland and some of those nicer older suburbs that are a little bit more established. South of us, this area is kind of one of those areas that they've carved out enough land to make you feel insulated, but the infrastructure that you're tied to, the schools that you're tied to, are some of those old ones from some of those older Houston communities that aren't as great. And so they're not all failing, but in our instance, we would probably choose homeschooling if we got to that point where Chandler needed to actually go to school, because the school ratings out here aren't as great, or we would be picking somewhere else based on school ratings, right? So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at this community. Not the worst schools by far, but definitely not going to be at the same caliber of a Cy-Fair ISD or a Katy ISD, some of these other suburb communities that you would see. But that is the trade-off with kind of being in Houston. And right now we'll head into the Birch. The Birch is going to be their middle of the road home, which is somewhere a little bit over 1,900 square feet. It's a 3-bed, 2.5 bath, I believe. So we'll go and check that out and let me know what you think. And we'll talk about some of the final incentives that they have over here in City Gate North. elephant in the room is that so many people have seen so many things go viral when it comes to D.R. Horton in different states or just around the nation. Being a national builder, there's just more use cases and opportunities for things to go wrong around the nation. I can say that I've had a lot of people close with D.R. Horton over my 7 to almost 10-year career now at this point, and none of them have had major catastrophic issues. Now, it doesn't mean that that sort of thing can't go wrong with any house or with any builder. Personally, I have some structural issues going on in my own home with a different builder, and they were known to be kind of a more high-end builder in the city. And so it just depends on that team, that staff, a little bit of luck as well, but also keeping in mind that you have great warranties when it comes to D.R. Horton. I do know that although a lot of my clients had some challenges getting some warranty stuff done during the pandemic, as the pandemic has kind of gone and done what it's doing right now, and it's just a part of our lives at this point, I know a lot of my clients have had great success with getting their warranty requests and things kind of taken care of after the fact. And everyone seems to be happy, even in this community that I'm standing in right now in Citygate, the original side. And so I definitely think that D.R. Horton gets a bad rep in my experience. Now, it is trust but verify for everybody. In my experience, I've had clients build nearly $1 million homes, and those have been a nightmare. And I've had people buy and build $220,000 homes with D.R. Horton, and it's been a perfect experience, giving them great equity that they've been able to put into other houses that were more closer to the dream home that they wanted. And so I definitely think it's something that you're going to be comfortable. We're going to make sure you get all of your inspections and everything that you actually kind of want to have, and to make sure that you have a peace of mind about the house that you are buying. But I definitely think that D.R. Horton is definitely a builder that you should give a try, and then just make sure that you feel comfortable with what you're doing as you close on your home. So what did you think about the birch? I think that's a great layout. If you need that game room space instead of the 4th bedroom, then I definitely think that that is the better way to go. In our specific situation, we would probably need that 4th bedroom to either make it an office or a little playroom, something along those lines, but both great options. So the one that we couldn't see is the ash. That one is right around 1,800 square feet, a little bit smaller, but a similar kind of layout to what we just saw in the birch. But all in all, right now, for under about $350, you can get pretty much everything out here, and they're going to have homes cranking out because, like I said, they're inventory, and they're back there just knocking them out in every direction. So as far as extra incentives, right now they're doing $7,500 towards closing costs. I also think, based on the relationship, if you come out here and tell her that Aaron sent you, Callie would be able to help you get that price down a little bit more, or get you a little bit more money towards closing costs. They're also doing washer, dryer, refrigerator, as well as all of the blinds around the homes right now. So all in all, that's an incentive of somewhere between, let's say, $12,000 and $15,000 just for cost that they're willing to give to you if you come out here and buy one of these beautiful homes. But is that enough? I think that this is a great option, and anyone that hits me up that wants to be sub $350 and have that townhome style look without all of the inner city kind of issues that you would have being in one of those areas like I live, Independence Heights, Sunnyside, Acres Homes, Spring Branch, any of those places that you can kind of rattle off pretty quickly. If you want to have a modern, like I call it, experience and be somewhere kind of tucked away but still get the best of both worlds, I think that this is the best place that you can be right now for the price. But if you like this model home and you like these tours, if you have any questions at all, hit the comment section down below. Shoot me with a text, call, email, whatever you got to do. If you like these, I definitely think that you're going to like this video right here.